Hello, happy National Flag Day to all of you who are tuning in today's episode of Real Living in Bridgeport. And so, with that, um, great Friday here in the Chicago area. We've got beautiful weather, at least I think so. And apparently, we're getting perfect timing because the weather is also changing literally in the next 24 hours to be completely like summer. So with that, let me welcome my co-host into the conversation, and let's give him a warm welcome. Here we go from his fan base. Yes, all his raving fans, especially that one guy in the hoodie. Gotta love him. Gotta love him. So, as I mentioned, Warren, hello, long time
Hi,
no
Bill.
talk, or it seems that way.
Hi,
All
Bill. How
right,
are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We were just talking with each other, everyone, Warren and I. We were talking about how May kind of came and went. We were both busy. And so, for those of you who have watched and enjoyed our previous episodes, we took, the month of May, the 4 weeks. We had to take some time off from doing this, but hey, we're back at it today. And as your fan base was giving you the cheering and round of applause, welcome, Warren. What's on tap for you today or this weekend? What are you doing on your special day on Sunday?
Nothing much planned. I mean, everything is pretty much for the kids for Father's Day, obviously. So
Yeah.
yeah, whatever they like, it's basically for them.
Whatever they like, or you could say, whatever I want, you've got to do for me, right?
Well, they're still too young for that at the moment. Maybe when they're older.
All right, all right. Fair enough, fair enough. So, Warren, let's lead off as we always do with your dropping a current trends and a market update as to what's happening with real estate locally here in Bridgeport.
So things picked back up last month, like in May.
Yeah,
But for some odd reason, after Memorial Day, everything started to slow down. People are not as active. I don't know if it's because of its graduation or like people's kids or like families are out of school, so they
yeah.
have to spend time with them in for the time being. But I mean, overall, it's not bad.
Okay.
There are slightly more properties coming on, becoming more available on the market, so that's a
Yeah,
good news.
yeah.
So a little bit more for buyers to look for.
Yeah, I'm with you. Um, I see the same thing as well. I see more listings coming onto the market, but like what you and I know, the listings that are price effectively marketed correctly by you and your peers, they go pretty fast.
Correct.
Yeah. How's the rental market? Is that still like running with four strong legs? Talk to us about that.
Well, it depends on the price point. So anything that's in Bridgeport, like anything that's under two grand or $2,000, they go by pretty fast.
Yeah, of
But
course.
anything over now, I think people are still considering.
Ah, got it. Got it. All right. Cool. Um, so as part of our conversation today, I thought audience members, I thought for your benefit that Warren and I would share with you uh partly humor, but partly factual, the things that we would love for you to know if you are selling real estate or buying real estate. So let me lead you off, Warren, with what are some of the things that you wish sellers would know or did you know sellers
Mm-hmm.
that you're helping them help you help them? How's that?
Right. So a lot of times, seller has to be a little bit more realistic with pricing, and because nowadays interest rates are so high, people's purchasing power has gone down. So like maybe like a few years back when interest rates were low, with the same amount they're making now, they could buy like $1 million home. But
Right.
today, with interest rates around like 6-7%, that's literally cut in half. Like they could only buy something around like $600,000-700,000. So
Right.
it means less people are able to afford what they were previously looking for. So sellers should take pricing into consideration, and also the condition of the home. Like a lot
Okay.
of times, and the emotions that's being attached to it,
Oh,
because that's usually the thing. When people lived in their home for so long and then they're trying to sell it to, for whatever reason, they get emotionally attached, and then it makes the process a little bit harder than what it should be.
give me an example of what you mean by emotionally attached. I can imagine there's several ways to interpret that, but give me a good example.
I mean, like a family that's like the seller who grew up in that house. Like they were kids. There were so many memories of like every little thing that was done. Like
Yeah.
from pencil sharpeners, from pencil sharpeners in the basement to literally like the toys or the decorations of the wall. I mean,
Yeah.
paintings. So it could be anything.
Yeah. That is probably the hardest thing, probably one of the more challenging things that you probably have to counsel and coach your sellers to try to do before you go live, right? Which
Right.
is make the home less about you now, because you've got to make the home more about all of the people you want to attract to buy, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no more posters on the wall. you gotta take some of
Right.
that, you gotta take some of that stuff down. Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah. Less personalized for the current seller, but more for like the general market, like the general buyer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could attract more people to see, because when it's too customized for your own personal taste, for example, Michael Jordan's home. That's a good
Yes.
example.
Yes.
It was too customized to fit Michael Jordan's taste that it's been on the market for I don't know how many years has it been, and multiple price drop.
Yeah. I don't think it's sold, right?
It's not
I don't.
sold.
Yeah.
It's still on the market. That's why it's a good example, because like it was customized to just fit him personally.
Yeah.
Hence, someone who has to buy it, spending millions on it, would have to totally like redo the whole place just to
Yes.
make it fit their own home.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine? If you were the buyer, you would have to find a way to replace every resemblance of number 23. I mean, there's no other number 23. You can't say, I'm buying it because I'm the next number 23. That's impossible.
Right. So hence, yeah, that's one thing sellers should keep in mind. Make it less
Okay.
personal.
Okay. Now you talked about pricing the home effectively, pricing it correctly. How important is that, in your opinion, right now in today's market?
I would say it's pretty important, because property taxes is rising,
Yeah.
homeowners insurance is rising. So the longer you don't have the home under contract or close the home, the more more money that you have to spend, because you might probably be bought another home that you have to pay mortgage on. So you'll be paying like both mortgages, both property taxes. So it's just more money out of your pocket that you could have potentially saved if you priced it right.
Do you believe in the strategy of pricing a subject property just below market value to attract a lot more eyeballs and multiple offers. Can you speak to that?
I would agree to that. I'd rather price it like around market price or slightly under market price to attract
Okay.
more buyers, because when more buyers see it, because there's a lot more buyers nowadays that really want a home that can't afford it.
Right.
So if they see something they like and then they see so many people compete for it, they're naturally willing to pay more instead
True.
of trying to lowball you, and then you feel like disrespected because you think your house is worth way more than that.
Yeah, very true, very true. It's kind of like the restaurant with a long line.
Right.
The longer the line, the perception that, oh my gosh, that food must be so good. We gotta wait in line some more.
Right. Yeah, it's like it's like a place that you must try, or like
True,
at least try it once.
true, true. What's another seller did you know, or you wish sellers would know by the time they engage you in a conversation?
Um, they should know that like listing a home now might take a little bit longer because of interest rates. So
Yeah.
and then getting a loan for buyers themselves, like you have to wait for that process. So they have to time it correctly, depending on if they have to move.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that you and I, as partners serving a mutual client, we have to help them manage and kind of work through.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. So let's now pivot, and I'll grab the baton from you. And audience members, for those of you who are watching this either on demand or right now as a live stream, what are some things I wish you know as a buyer? I'm going to start with this first one. This is the easy layup one. It's about the monthly payment, not so much about the rate. Let me repeat. It's about the monthly payment, not so much about the rate. And the reason why I stress that is because, well, think about it this way. If you're borrowing a much larger sum of money versus a smaller sum of money, there's not going to be a large, wild swing in the actual mortgage payment. Okay? The next is, it's about the monthly payment, not about the rate. Why? Because at the end of the day, this is tipping my hand, giving you a little secret into my world. The monthly payment, which means your mortgage, insurance, taxes, and or if there's any HOA fees, is really what's going to determine whether you can afford it or not in the eyes of loan underwriting. So again, it's the monthly payment, not so much about the rate. Okay. The next thing I'll share with you buyers is what is the difference between being approved versus just being pre-approved? There is a difference. Being approved means you've put in the effort and the time with your chosen lender so that you have made a conscious decision to complete almost 70% of that loan process upfront before you write an offer on a property. And Warren, how would you feel when you see that when you're representing a seller? Does that make you more confident in that buyer's offer?
Yes, definitely. Because usually we do our due diligence. If depending on if there's multiple offer or a single offer, we reach out to the lender, mortgage broker, to see how confident they are, or like we're in the process. Have they do like a hard pull, which is like running their credit and like having basic information, or just like a random like a soft pull where they just give them information based off of what the buyer tells them.
Yeah. And then the next thing that I'll drop for you who are buyers listening to this episode is this. I get this question a lot, and I'm sure you get a similar question a lot like this one, which is, hey, what do you offer as a rate, right? And my answer is, well, what rate do you want? And the reason why that's important for buyers to really understand up front, it's because there's so many factors that play into how much money you can afford to borrow, what is the rate available to you, and then, of course, the other things that factor into it is what is the strength of your credit? Is there the potential of using any seller concessions to help you do either a temporary or a permanent rate buy down, right? And then the last one is really also, what is the loan solution that you're asking about? Is it conventional, FHA, VA, USDA? All of those things that feed into that big pot kind of dictates the accuracy of answering that question. Hey, what is the rate that you can offer to me? So that's what I'm going to drop for all of you buyers who have a plan, who have an interest to buy your next real estate property in the next 60 days, next 90 days. And by the way, along this line, if you certainly need help, if you need to start a conversation with Warren and or myself to help you in your journey, it's really simple. All you have to do is simply scan the QR codes that you see here, get in touch with us. We'd be glad to start a conversation with you. So all of this being said, Warren, as we wrap up today's episode of Real Living in Bridgeport, enjoy your special day on Sunday. Tell your kids, train them now. Everything I want you to do, you got to start doing it today.
Likewise, Bill. Likewise.
All right. So audience members, until we see you in the next episode of Real Living in Bridgeport. And by the way, for all of you peer fathers out there, happy Father's Day to you a little bit early. And bye. Enjoy summer. Summer is right around the corner. Okay.
Right.
That's it for now. See you guys.